Warm greetings, everyone, and welcome back to video number 2 in our 5-part video series called Rejuvenate Your Life, where we are giving you our top 5 strategies on helping you feel younger, more energetic, more vibrant, and more radiant. I'm Dr. Becky, and I'm thrilled to continue this journey with you. In case you missed it, in video number 1, we explored my top 3 tips to elevate your hydration game, because being properly hydrated is our first strategy to helping you feel younger, more vibrant, and more alive. So check out that video. Today, we're shifting our focus to another vital element of rejuvenation, and that is the power of protein. Protein is often hailed as the building block of life, and for good reason. It's actually vital in every system of the body. And protein plays a role in repairing tissues, supporting our immune system, helping to regulate our hormones, maintain a healthy weight, and even supporting our immune system. As we age, our bodies require more protein and better sources of protein to help us maintain our muscle mass, maintain healthy bone tissue, maintain healthy regulatory hormone secretion, and maintaining our metabolism. Unfortunately, a lot of people don't consume enough protein, which can lead to fatigue, irritability, brain fog, feelings of weakness, a weakened immune system, water retention, listen to video number 1, and even saggy skin and just not looking as radiant and as luminous as we could. So how much protein do we need? That's the number 1 question that I'm often asked. And there's a few different ways to look at this. It really depends on your lifestyle and your age. Minimum recommended daily allowance is about 0.3 grams of protein per pound of body weight. So if you're 200 pounds, 60 grams of protein every day would be minimum requirement. However, minimum is just literally what you have to sustain life. Certainly not enough to be vital or optimal. Then the next question is, how much protein do we need? And I think this is a question that a lot of people just try to complicate. It is a complicated answer, but we're just going to keep it simple. There's a lot of different goals and a lot of different lifestyles that can go into how we calculate how much protein we need in a day. And we're going to start with baseline basics. We're going to talk about, what do I need to feel really good during the day, to have energy, to feel vital, to look radiant. And just a general rule of thumb for an average person with average muscle tone. We're not talking about bodybuilders. We're not talking about peak performance athletes. We're going to talk about the average normal male or female. And my recommendation is going to be 0.7 grams to 1 pound of body weight. Minimum consumption every day of protein. Let's calculate that out. If you weigh 200 pounds, 0.7 grams per pound of body weight is going to be about 140 grams of protein in a day. And that's going to be split across all of the meals and snacks that you consume through the day. The only caveat to that is if you have chronic illness or you have kidney disease of some kind, check with your medical doctor and just discuss with them their primary recommendations for your specific health challenges. So where are we going to get those grams of protein? I have 3 primary recommendations on how we're going to do that. So I'm going to take me as an example. This is what a typical day would look like for me. I'm going to need about 126 grams of protein. And that's going to be split between 3 normal meals and 2-ish potential snacks. So a sample breakfast for me could be 2 eggs scrambled with some cottage cheese, about a tablespoon of cottage cheese, and sprinkled with shredded cheese on top. I could throw in some veggies in there, some tomatoes, some spinach, some green peppers, whatever, some onions, whatever else I would like, with a cup of coffee and about a tablespoon of creamer. And that's actually going to give me about 30 to 40 grams of protein to start my day, which is going to be great because it's going to help me regulate metabolic hormones. So it's going to keep my insulin level. It's going to boost my thyroid, and it's going to help speed my metabolism. About 10-ish, 11 o'clock in the morning, I could consider having a snack. For me, that might include, say, a sliced apple with a tablespoon of peanut butter, and that's gonna give me about 10 to 15 grams of protein. A sample lunch might be a chicken wrap, and if I have about 3 ounces of rotisserie chicken or shredded chicken in that wrap, it's gonna give me about 25 grams of protein. And again, it's going to keep my insulin steady, keep my blood sugar steady, keep my metabolism ramped up. So it's gonna give me sustained energy and I'm just gonna feel really good. A typical snack in the afternoon could be maybe 1/4 cup of almonds, and that is going to give me about 10 to 15 grams of protein. And then for supper, I could have a bowl of chili and a side piece of cornbread. And that's going to give me about 30 to 35 grams of protein. And then if you add roughly all of those up between my 3 full meals and my 2 snacks, it's gonna hit me about 125 to 135 grams of protein. So that's kind of a perfect day. Typically, you just wanna shoot for about 20 to 35 grams of protein at each meal and about 10 to 15 grams of protein at the 2 snacks. So one other recommendation I have for you, and something that I do virtually every day. I'm not a big breakfast eater, like food. I also have 2 kids, and so my mornings tend to be a little bit crazy and a little busy. So a lot of times I can't cook myself a breakfast. So I'm a huge fan of smoothies in the morning. It keeps my metabolism sustained throughout the day, and it keeps me energized and feeling really good for the majority of my day. So my smoothie in the morning has 3 primary sources of protein. The first is my favorite protein. It's a company called Clean Simple Eats. They have a lot of different flavors. It's all natural. They're totally transparent on their website, and they also don't use any sugar enhancements or funky chemicals. It's Clean Simple Eats. These are whey-based, and then there's also vegan options. So I add a scoop of this. That's about 20 to 25 grams of protein. I add cottage cheese to my smoothies. Gives a significant protein boost, but it also makes my smoothie really smooth and creamy. And then I also add a tablespoon of chia seeds. Again, it makes them smooth and creamy, but chia seeds have a ton of protein. They have a lot of fiber, and they also have a pretty good omega-3 source as well. So those 3 things always go into my morning smoothie. I also add ice, water. If you wanted even more protein, you could add milk or almond milk or coconut milk. Every once in a while, I will add some nut butters. So that's just one hack. It's really easy. Or if you're a person that gets kind of the afternoon munchies or really wants that sweet treat in the afternoon, a protein smoothie is a great way to satisfy that sweet tooth. So that covers the importance of protein, why we need protein, how much protein do we need, how can we get that in through our day. So I know one of the topics that comes up quite a bit when I talk to people about increasing their protein is as we get older, meat it's just not as appetizing. Also, if it's just 2 people or if you're alone, trying to cook meat or have meat on hand can be really challenging. Don't ever hesitate to experiment with plant proteins in your diet. Plant proteins are typically easier to consume. They're also easier to make in smaller quantities or easier to store as leftovers that are good. Plant proteins would be things like beans, legumes, and quinoa, that kind of thing. The difference between animal proteins and plant proteins, however, is animal proteins are considered a complete protein. Plant proteins are not considered a complete protein. So if you are going to lean more towards plant proteins, you do need to just make sure that you're covering a large variety of plant sources of protein. So we put together our top sources of protein into a really convenient, concise handout for you guys. So we're gonna go ahead and put the link down below in the description for you guys to download that and keep it handy. It's a really great guide just to help you navigate and think of ideas of incorporating more protein throughout your day. And that wraps up our discussion into the power of protein in revitalizing your life. By incorporating and prioritizing protein-rich food into your diet on a daily basis, you can fuel it with the nutrients your body needs to thrive, not just survive. And in our next video, video number 3 in our 5-part series, we're going to explore the benefit of movement. The body heals through movement, and we're going to explore easy ways of incorporating more movement throughout your day and how staying active can help you feel younger and more vibrant. Don't forget to download the Power of Protein handout. And if you liked this video, give us a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on our next installment, video number 3. Ciao for now.